What's up, my dudes? The tea sipper, the predictor, back at it again, boys. So, fun little video here. I wanted to talk about kind of where we're at in the points in the 2021 Supercross series in the 450 class. We're now like basically midways through the season. We got Daytona coming up next weekend. So if you don't really know how the points are standing right now, basically Webb is 6 points behind Roczen in the front, and then you have Tomac, which is 31 points behind Roczen in the front, right? So it goes Roczen, Webb, and Tomac. And those are the only three that are really even remotely in any kind of contention to win this thing. I already think Tomac is pretty much out of it. I mean, he's going to have to do something crazy at this point in combination with either Roczen or Webb having some crazy crashes or injuries or something like that for it to even be a possibility for Tomac to win at this point. So, I mean, I really don't think that's going to happen. And here we are, Webb getting a really good result in the last race, and Roczen kind of having his worst result of the season so far, which was still only a fourth, but, you know, Roczen's been doing really good here recently. So, but with him getting that like fourth or whatever, and then Webb winning that race, it really kind of brought Webb back into the thinking that Webb might be able to win this title, which is interesting because if you remember my predictions at the beginning of the year, first thing was I said I didn't think Tomac was going to do it again. So that's already playing out. I've been literally 100% spot on exact with Tomac's shit in Supercross predictions-wise for the past like 4 years in a row, dog. I'm going to make a compilation on that at some point in time. I mean, it's insane. It is insane how on point I've been with Tomac as far as the last 4 years. But, yeah, and then I also said I thought it was either going to be Webb, Cincerillo, or Osborne that wins the title. So, yeah, obviously with Cincerillo, he's out with the collarbone, so that's not really going to pan out. And plus, I didn't realize that Cincerillo only had 10 days on the bike before the season started. Did any of you other guys actually realize that? I guess I just wasn't enough in the loop to realize that he had some kind of injury right before the season, or I would not have even picked Cincerillo at all. But either way, this whole Webb potentially winning it prediction is starting to pan out here. So this is kind of crazy how this is all going down. But yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing about it is, you know, the past couple years, Roczen's been doing pretty good at the first half of the season, but then somewhere around that midways point, he just loses it. He just loses whatever he had, you know. He definitely did that last year. There's no doubt about it. You know, he had that mysterious illness or whatever the hell he had going on. I still don't know what that was all about, but, you know, that was kind of plaguing him last year, and, you know, he was doing really good. He was right there in the points with Tomac, and then they got to Daytona, and then all the races after Daytona, Roczen just slowly but surely went further and further back. So we'll see this year. I mean, he's been doing really good. Roczen's been doing probably better than he ever has before as far as actual title, you know, title potential winning the title type situation. So it'll be pretty interesting to see if, you know, and Webb has kind of been Roczen's kryptonite here a little bit past few years. Webb winning a bunch of those races on the last lap when Roczen just almost had his first win back from all those injuries, and Webb come back in like literally 3 or 4 different races. Webb's done that to Roczen. So that shit's been pretty crazy. But I definitely think it's going to be really fun to watch when you get Webb and Roczen both fighting for the title, you know, both up in there trying to win this thing. But all Webb has been doing is just getting better and better and better so far this season. I mean, he wasn't really doing a whole lot at the start of the season, but he's just been getting better and better and better. And Roczen's been good from the start, but like Webb has kept himself in it as far as the points goes. Isn't that crazy how how Tomac is so far behind Webb and Roczen. He's more than a full race behind both of these guys. It's like, man, that just did not seem like Tomac was doing that bad. I mean, I knew he was getting like some fifths and some sevenths and shit like that, but man, that has really caught up to Tomac. I mean, Tomac's not missed an entire race. You know, it's not like the typical Tomac year where he'll be doing really good, winning a bunch of races, and then he'll crash out of a race and not even finish, so then he loses the, 25 points to whoever. It's not even like that. He's just been getting way too many, like, fifths and sevenths and eighths and shit like that it's just slowly caught up. And the fact that Roczen's doing so good, gotten so far ahead in the points as far as that goes, man, it's pretty much made a unwinnable situation here for Tomac. I do think Tomac's going to do pretty good in Daytona, obviously. I mean, you can't really bet against him on that, but it'll be cool to see how Roczen does against Tomac in Daytona and shit like that. But, yeah. So definitely let me know down in the comments what you guys think is going to happen with all this. I mean, I certainly think Webb has a chance. There's no doubt about that. Man, these KTMs feel kind of slow here in Supercross 2. Any other guys notice that? They definitely made the KTMs feel a little bit different than the Kawasaki's in this game, for damn sure. But I also have the vibe that I feel like Webb is just so much fresher as far as his career goes, right? He had 2 shitty years in Supercross, but then he won in 2019, and then if you remember last year, like, Webb had a good chance of winning the title, I think it was last year. Pretty sure I'm thinking of this right in my head. And then he had the crash where he did the crazy flipped over the bike. Pretty sure it was on like maybe a Dragon's back to a main triple, something like that. But like Webb's been in it pretty much ever since he won that first Supercross title, right? Whereas like people like Anderson, it's like, what the hell is going on with them? I mean, I know Anderson did have a wreck that one year, but I just feel like overall that Webb just kind of, he's a little more, I think of all these riders that you have right now up at the front, I think Webb is the most likely to go on to win, multiple more Supercross titles. Like I just think when it comes to Tomac and Roczen, they're really more at the end of their careers. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but believe it or not, like, they're kind of on their way out, man. I mean, it would shock me to see Roczen or Tomac race for more than like another 2 years. I mean, that would really shock me if they raced any longer than that. And I think Webb's going to probably race for at least another, 7+ years, at least, or 5+ years, where I feel like Tomac and Roczen, it's like if they don't start doing it right now, like they're just not. I mean, I know Tomac's already won a Supercross title, but I mean, if he wants to win another one or Roczen wants to start winning them, they're going to have to do it right here within the next couple years. They're not going to be like four-time Supercross champs. You're not going to see that with Tomac or Roczen, whereas you could see that with somebody like Webb, because he's already got one. He's still pretty young. I mean, he's not super young, but you know what I'm saying? Like, and Webb's still right there in it. He could very easily win the Supercross title this year. And I don't know. I just feel like with everything that happened to Tomac he missed too many of his opportunities, and it just, you get to that point where you start getting in your upper 20s, early 30s, and it's just tough for him to really keep on that Supercross title contingency at that point. So, but we'll see what happens. I think once Roczen wins his one Supercross title, like, he'll be happy with that, he'll be good with that. After everything that's happened in his career, he'll be happy with that. And I even think Tomac, to a certain extent, is happy with his one Supercross title. Everybody's just so on Tomac about just, are you ever going to win one? Are you ever going to win one Supercross title? And now that he did, it's just like kind of whatever, and it's kind of the same way with Roczen, if he can win that Supercross title, it's just kind of like, what else is there to even say? Whereas Webb, it's like you really want to see, I mean, you like Webb. I feel like there's just more. There's more purpose behind Webb winning multiple Supercross titles than there is Tomac or Roczen at this point. You know what I'm saying? Kind of got to understand their careers to really understand that. But, like, I feel like Webb really wants to, and he's got the time to do it. You know, he's got the time to realistically go in there and win multiple Supercross titles. Whereas Roczen and Tomac, they're getting to that out of time point, man. They really are. I mean, they could, like, Roczen could go in there and win this year's Supercross title and next year's Supercross title, or Tomac could win next year's Supercross title, but they're not really going to do any more than that. I just don't feel like they're going to still be at that level and wanting to race. I mean, it just gets to a point where they get tired of it too, you know? I mean, I can already kind of see it out of Tomac a little bit. He just doesn't seem like he's got anywhere near the fire that he had over the past 4 years, right? Not even close, bro. But it still looks like Webb has that fire, you know? It looks like people like Webb, Cincerillo. I mean, yeah, Roczen's got the fire to win this one Supercross title, but after this, I just don't think it's gonna matter as much. But either way, I certainly think Webb has the potential to catch Roczen. I think the thing about it is once we get to this Daytona race and we get to some of these outdoor Atlanta races and you start getting Tomac more up there in the mix, I feel like that's kind of what's played into Roczen's hands is he's getting good starts, he's getting out front, he's not having to worry about anybody. You know, he gets in that up front, just ride your own race type rhythm. But I feel like once we get to some more of these outdoor style tracks, the fact that we're having more than just one this year with all the Atlanta races, I feel like we're definitely going to start seeing the front kind of shake up a little bit, and that could affect Roczen, you know, kind of get him out of his rhythm and routine when he gets up there with Tomac, and then it's going to allow Webb to get up there, and, you know, it'll be really cool once we start seeing all that. I think Osborne's going to do quite a bit better in some of these outdoor Supercross races. Barsha's only like, I don't know, a handful of points behind Tomac, so, I mean, he's not theoretically completely out of it, but he pretty much is. And then you've got, I think Muscan's in there somewhere. But yeah, it's kind of looking like it's going to be a Roczen Webb showdown for the title here. So that's really cool to see. I'd be happy if either one of them won it. Obviously, I really want to see Roczen win it just because everything he went through. But even though I've literally got my predictions set on Webb, you know, from the beginning of the year, it would be really cool to see Roczen do it. There's no doubt about it. Finally, that he's got himself to this point. But, well, like I say, we'll just see how Roczen can hold it together at the last half of the season, which is where it's kind of been his not-so-strong suit the past couple years. And once Webb gets going, he gets going, dog. I mean, once he starts getting up there like he is, woo! I don't think Webb's going to go back to getting 6th and 7th this year. I think he's kind of in his zone to a certain extent now where he's going to be up there, especially now that he's this close in the points. It's going to kind of be a whole different mindset, you know. I feel like Webb's really going to be up there going for it every single race. So we'll kind of see how that goes, but either way, hope you guys enjoy these little real-life Supercross news videos here. I have a lot of fun doing these. It's just fun kind of keeping up with everything, and yeah, we got some MX bikes. Oh my god, there's the T coming out. Got some MX bikes vids on the way. The old Spency boy gonna get back to some of that. Don't you worry about that. Don't you worry your sweet little selves about that. We got the MX bikes vids coming. Just got to download some more custom tracks on that shit, and I will be back to making the vids on that. And yeah, either way, see you boys on that next video. Later, dudes.